Welcome to the Friday edition of Quarantine with Style. Hope everybody's have had a great week. I am slowly coming out for this orange crush high that I've had since Saturday afternoon. You see the bags under my eyes? It's been a good week. Now, it's fortunate for me not being a player that I can soak in this glorious orange bath. But I hope those guys got that out of their system on that road trip back to Lextown and then got their mind focused on this week. Because Missouri has some interesting things that they do. And it's going to not, as we said, as I'm sure everybody knew, it's not going to be easy winning an SEC game. I don't care who it is, from Vandy to Missouri all the way to Alabama. It's going to be difficult. Luckily, these last 2 weeks, we were pulled off some big wins, got some young guys in the game, got their mouth a little taste of SEC flavor Kool-Aid. Some of them has figured out that it's really sweet. And if you're not ready, you better get ready. So, as we have done the last few Fridays, let's me dive into this. The first series for Missouri defensively and the first series for them offensively. And then we will talk some more about what I'm looking to expect from this weekend. So let's get into it. This is Missouri's first drive. Now, what happened is they have their starter in, the new starting quarterback here, and they have the guy who started the season there, the Basilak and Robinson, for the first play, which I don't know why they did this, but they did. I don't know how much it confused LSU. Now, that's the backup quarterback there, and then they're going to direct snap it to Roundtree, which is a solid SEC back, which is not shocking. Every SEC team has a solid running back, so that shouldn't be shocking, but they have two. And Roundtree gave LSU hell. And I'm not sure what Bo Pelini is doing. And obviously, it's a different in philosophy than what Dave Aranda was doing, because this defense is lost. They are lost. And you can tell that these guys are talking to each other, trying to communicate, and the communication is a little off. They don't know exactly what they're doing sometimes. And if you watch the game, you see Bo Pelini on the sideline trying to yell at his players, talking to his players to get things corrected. Now, one thing is LSU Bo Pelini now loves to put his guys on island. So on this play, he put his line, I think it's his strong safety on the island. So this is what, this is something that if you guys have heard me talk about this a lot, especially this year, is putting guys on islands in college. Typically, a college team has one really, really good corner, and lucky to have the next corner being okay corner. Now, we have two good corners, but not every team does. So what he does in this, and he loves to bring pressure and all that stuff, and I'm telling you, pressure can cause problems. He blitzes his best DB here and leaves this guy on this guy one-on-one. And he hits him with a little bit of a double move, and he's out the gate. Now, this is a lucky call. They got LSU in this coverage, and they got lucky with this, because one thing that I don't like is Stingley is in the line of scrimmage, and he should be inside this guy. He should come inside of the guy for the quarterback. He lets this guy pass him first and then goes over the top. He loses time. Just look, if he didn't do that, he would have either got around Roundtree a little faster because he lost about a step, or he would have pushed Roundtree into the quarterback like he did now a step sooner, and his throw would have been tougher. Now, other thing is you can see I think you can see it in the screen. You can see the little double move right there. He double moved him, and that safety is not the guy you want guarding a receiver. And that's how they got their first touchdown. And that's how they got quite a few touchdowns. They got another touchdown on a blown. They got 3 touchdowns on blown coverages. LSU put up 41 points offensively and still lost, which is crazy. That guy right there in motion, right here, had 230 plus yards receiving. Missouri plays, you can see now, they play a lot of off man. And they play it off man because they want to disguise it so it looks the same when they play zone. They mix it up pretty decently. So that's why they're not in press coverage. They play off man, which to me is the best man in college because remember, there is no 5-yard zone in college. And I guess it's more. That's a true. There's no 5-yard zone in college where you can only contact the receiver there. You can contact him anywhere down the field. So off man is pretty good. So they play off man. They're in man-to-man now. And Gilbert, the tight end, killed them early. So we have a better chance this week. I personally think we have problems getting off of press man. But since Missouri doesn't play press man a lot, it's very minimal. They play off man. It gives us some room. Look at that room. It's about 7 yards to release and get into the route. Now, the only problem is we need Terry to be able to differentiate when these guys are playing zone and when these guys are playing man-to-man. That's all. Once we identify that, I think their secondary is barbecue chicken. If you don't know what barbecue chicken is, that's an old Shaq saying when someone is guarding him that can't handle him, can't stop him. So he usually says barbecue chicken. So that's barbecue chicken. And I think Josh Ali should be able to have a field day. I would like to see Upshaw maybe. And you have to give Upshaw some more confidence this week by just keep throwing the ball. Because he's had a couple drops and he needs to get his confidence back up. Because I think Upshaw can be a mismatch. But he's got to be confident in his route running. Again, they run man, bring a little pressure. Now, Brennan had a very good first couple series. I don't think he had an incompletion. I know he was at one time like 7 for 7. I think he was 8 for 9. At one point, he was carving them up early, even on his 4th and 5. They're playing man, so we got to win on man-to-man. This is the thing. And this is even coming from a corner. The offense has to win on man-to-man, period. They don't have that great of DBs. I'm not saying they're bad, but they're now shut down corners or shut down safeties. We should find a weak link and attack them. That should give Allen Daly some more room. I'm hoping we get Bryce Oliver back at close to full strength because I really think he can be a difference maker. And I hope we can get some of these young guys in. But we can pass on them because we're going to give T-Dub some time. And now it's up to our receivers to win their one-on-one matchups. It's really as simple as that. You got to win your one-on-one matchups when a team challenge you one-on-one. And the great thing, like I said earlier, is they're not playing press man. So it's not an issue of getting off a press. And that was a dime right there. That is the definition of a dime. He dropped that baby in. Right now, look, now I'm going to say this again. Oops. This is a tough route. This is a tough route. But I want people to understand this. And this is, I'm dead serious. I don't know if I said, I think 6 out of the 8 interceptions I had a pretty good idea of what that receiver was going to run. When I got to be a senior, I had 80. I was up to 80% of what I thought they were going to run just through film study and knowing how to study film and knowing what to look for. You got trips over here. 1, 2, 3. They are on this hash. They don't have really room to bring anybody over here. Now, if I'm a corner, the route that teams like to run is a hook him up and either bring him over in this space or they bring him over in that space because there's just so much area. Your inside leverage, you're beat if this guy goes here automatically. So you have to know that as a corner and know that, yes, I have to protect the inside because he could quickly do this. He could do that and do a little, he'll probably come more up, but you know what I'm saying. He'll probably come more there and try to get that quick shot right there. But you also have to know that these two guys have a lot of area over here in the back of the end zone. And if you run it, you don't know what the other guys are running because you're focusing on your guy. Now look at that. There's a hitch and they clear it out. He's got from the middle of the field to the corner end zone to run. And as a corner, you got to be a little tighter on him. You didn't even touch him. You got to, another thing is, just for teaching sake, any high school coaches on here, or any just young corners, you cannot get yourself in the zone. You have to stop right there. And when you stop there, you have to sit and hit him. Get a jam. If you jam him, then you can get tighter on him. If he breaks this way or that way, you're closer. You got to get a jam. You're not going to win if he free releases and goes where he wants. You got to hit him. That's the great thing about playing college football. You can hit him. You take right to the goal line and you sit and you jam him at all costs. You jam him, it throws the timing off. He gets no contact, doesn't throw the timing off. Now he's got that's like 26 yards of room. That's impossible to cover. And he dropped a dime. Brennan dropped a flat out dime. That was a great throw by Brennan. And I think, my bad. I think as a defense, we have found our identity, what we do best. It's kind of hard not having those first 2 games, those non-conference games, to fill your team out and see what you do best. I think we have found out what we do best. And our linebackers have gained some much-needed experience and much-needed lessons in learning how to drop in coverage. Jamin Davis has improved so much from game 1 to game 3, now to game 4. Hopefully, and I know it is. There's no hope. It's going to continue to this game 5. And that's what helps the secondary. Linebackers help in coverage. It's not just 4, man. It's at least 6. When those linebackers get depth, force their quarterback to throw it short. we're good. We're good. That's how you play team defense. And we have improved on that these last 2 games tremendously. And that's why we're getting interceptions, because we have defensive players with eyes on the quarterback and they're breaking. Because sometimes, see, people don't understand. From the angle that we watching from TV, it's obvious that Jamin Davis was in the throwing lane for Guarantano. But when you sit down on field level, you can't tell if there are blind spots as a quarterback. You got your guard, you got the center, your guard, and your tackle. Now, there's obviously a window between each position, right? But what if Jamin Davis was lined up with the guard for his vision? So Guarantano saw his guys in front of him, and Jamin Davis can be hidden by one of those players. That's why some quarterbacks just don't see him. Trust me, I played quarterback in high school, and this happened to me numerous times. I got a crossing route. I know where my receiver's going to be, and I don't see the linebacker because he's stacked on one of the defensive linemen. And that's how you throw picks. Trust me, that's the problem with doing pass scale with no linemen on the line of scrimmage and you do 7-on-7. Oh, quarterbacks can see the whole field because there's nothing there but you and the guy who snaps the ball. It's obvious who's open. Can you imagine what it looked like last year with Calvin Taylor being 6'7", 6'8"? That big body being in front of you and you can have a blind spot? He threw it because he didn't see Jamin Davis. He didn't see him because I guarantee you there was a lineman stacked in his vision where he couldn't see him. People don't get that. They see, he just threw the interception right to the defensive player. It's a little bit more to it than that. Well, I personally, all we have to do for me is Coach Drink is very creative. We're creating leverage off of motion with jet sweeps and create matchups off of motion, etc. He's going to be creative. If we have great eye discipline, we should be able to minimize them. We have to stop Roundtree. Roundtree had, I think, 119 yards against LSU. That's too much. We got to minimize him to 80, 90. If we do that and get them in passing downs with our Russian outside linebackers with Weaver, Wright, Boogie, we're going to get some sacks. So we need to, and the crazy thing about it, Missouri had 3 turnovers that game and still won. LSU, they had a -3 turnover ratio in that game. LSU didn't have a turnover. But LSU had a lot of blown coverage. If we do our fundamentals, read our keys, don't get caught in the eye candy, we should be fine defensively. Offensively, LSU didn't run the ball at all. I think they threw out of the first 30 plays, I think they threw 22, 23 passes. We got to establish the run, which will establish the play action because they run a lot of man. And the great thing about running zone read, or let's say we pass and T-Dub scrambles, there's no eyes on him. He can be running for days. So offensively, let's get that running game going again and win one-on-one on the wide receivers. Our wide receivers have to win one-on-one battles. That's it. We do that, I say we win by 10 points. So I feel good about the game. This is crazy now as a alum and a fan of Kentucky football, how I can honestly say now that we just have more talent than most of the teams in the conference. That's crazy. We are more talented than Missouri. I couldn't have said that 6 years ago. I couldn't have said that really 5 years ago when we started this streak. But, well, I guess it'd be 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I couldn't have said it. 6 years ago, I probably couldn't have said it. The last couple years, I think we've definitely had more talent than them. But this is a recent phenomenon. We definitely have more talent than them on paper. And we should do what we're supposed to. Go in there and put it on them and keep it on them. Don't let them get up. They have a young quarterback. I like the way how Coach White has been mixing up coverage. We keep mixing up the coverage and not like Bo Pelini pretty much plays man the majority of the game. And as a quarterback, that's easy. I just pick the matchup. If I know you playing man to man, I'm picking the best matchup, period. I don't care what the routes are. Okay, if I got Stingley on such and such, I'm not going to go him. Unless there's a route that I like. I'm going to the matchup. So I think we continue to do what we do on defense. Now, we're not going to get 6 and 4 turnovers again. We might not get any. But we just got to win the field position battle, get as many 3 and outs as we can, and give our offense short field. That's the name of the game. If we do that, I think we're fine. Their special teams are decent. Our special teams have come through. We have made some field goals, which is huge. Hopefully that has given Ruffalo some confidence. And our defense is balling. Now, our offense played a really good game. And I'm going to say it again. The first quarter of that Tennessee game wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. We had a fumble and we had a holding call. We didn't have that many drives. We only had 25 plays, I think, the first half. We didn't have that many plays. I think we had 4 drives. The first drive, as I said on Monday when I broadcast the first half, that second play seemed weird. And then you learn with Coach Grant and Coach Stoops' press conference that was a mix-up in the coaching. It made sense because we had 3 or 4 yards on first down. Then we went for a loss. So that first half wasn't bad offense. It was just the defense freaking scored 2 possessions in a row, which takes up time, which minimizes your offensive possessions, which minimizes the way you want to attack Tennessee from the start, which I think is what we did in the second half. I don't think there was adjustments in the second half. I just think we finally was able to run some plays. So let's get into these picks. All right. So let's do NFL first. So we already know what happened with the Thursday night game. That Thursday night game was great. That Thursday night game was special, man. I don't know what to call it. What is going on with the East? That I don't know, man. I'm shocked. I really am. I'm shocked at what's going on with that East, and it's not good. That's not a good conference at all. They are not playing well at all. I'm trying to stall to get my pen game ready. It seems like they don't want to act right, but I got it up now. So give me 1 sec so I can circle these games. So we already know the Eagles game. Cross that baby out. Falcons, Lions. This is a tough one because one guy who's kind of flying under the radar is my man Matthew Stafford. He's playing some good football, but the team is losing. And this is another thing that goes back to my coordinators, some of them not making good head coaches. And Matt Patricia is one of them. He's just not head coach quality. And that's nothing wrong with that. So this game is tough for me. But the Falcons, I think, found a reason to play, and I see them getting that game. The Titans and the Steelers. I don't know why I can't call it. I really can't come up with a reason. I just don't trust Tannehill, and he's been playing some damn good football. And they're playing at home, but I gotta go with the Steelers. I just think they got too much defensively. I don't think Derrick Henry is going to get 200-plus yards. And if Derrick Henry doesn't get 200-plus yards, that play-action game is not as effective. So I see the Steelers going into Nashville and pulling that game out. The Browns-Bengals. I'm sorry, y'all, all the Bengals fans, but it's amazing. The Browns are 4-2, and the controversy and the criticism that they get is crazy. I hate when people say, "Well, you only win against the less talented teams." Well, those are games you better win. There are some teams that don't win those. So they're doing their job. They're 4-2 in the playoff hunt. I'm picking the Browns. Texans, Packers. I think the Packers come back from their rough outing against Tampa. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to throw 2 picks and affect the rhythm of that offense this week. Now, this next game is very difficult for me because of the injuries to the Saints receivers. But the Saints, I don't see them losing in New Orleans. Now, the next game is the easiest one to pick. Come on, Jets. No. It's not going to happen. Now, this next game is difficult. Division game. Cowboys, Washington. Cowboys having some issues. Washington's having some issues. I just don't trust the team with no nickname, with no mascot. That's a tough one. I'm going Cowboys. The Seahawks just has too much for the Cardinals, even though I really like the Cardinals with Kyler Murray and D-Hop. But that defense is tough. Going with the Chargers over the Jaguars. Don't need to say anything with that one. I told people a year ago Justin Herbert was hurt by the change in the offensive coordinator while he's at Oregon. At Oregon. That's why he has some issues. Not really, but people were down on him a little bit. I had him as my QB1 going into last season. Then when Burrow did the crazy stuff, I jumped Burrow of him. But I had him my second best quarterback, and he's playing like the second best quarterback. Mile High, Chiefs going to go in and make that happen. I believe in the Patriots. That's a long flight. That's another thing people don't understand. That flight is long from San Francisco to the East Coast. And when that game is played at noon, well, it's played at 3:25 or 4:25, it's not as bad. But like that 1 o'clock game, it's a 3-hour time difference. So it feels like it's an early morning game on the West Coast. Usually that plays a factor. But same thing, even though it's a little late, I still see the Patriots pulling that off at home. I'm going with the Raiders. I think they win another game at home against a really good opponent. They did it to KC, and I think they do it again. And I just don't think the Bears can put up enough points against the Rams. So I have the Rams winning that game. Those are my NFL picks. Now we're going to go to the SEC, and we only have 4 games. So this should be quick. So, Auburn, Ole Miss. Auburn just can't put up enough points. I don't think Ole Miss is going to have the turnover issues they had against Arkansas. I think they put it out. Tennessee is going to have tough sledding this year. Alabama, easy. And this is a tough one, but I think these guys are going to come through, and I don't trust South Carolina's offense. South Carolina had a better offense. I will pick them over LSU, but I think that defense they have to play better. They can't play any worse than what they are playing. Next, and last but not least, I have us over Missouri, and I'm leaning to 27-17 as the score. All right. There we go. I hope everybody is as excited as I am about this game on Saturday. The bad part about it is late game. I'd rather be a little earlier. That 11 o'clock game I love. I know some fans don't like it. But that 11 o'clock game is great. You get it over with, and you can bask in the glory of another W. But we're going to have to wait a little time tomorrow to get this game. But I still feel like we're just a better team. We're just a better team on both sides of the ball. I don't know if they have an advantage as far as personnel. Maybe they're receivers because they're getting a couple back this week. But other than that, I think we got quarterback, offensive line. I think our tight ends are better. I think our defensive line is better. Linebackers are better. The secondary might be a wash, but I think, bull. Our secondary is better. So I hope we handle business, come in there focused, mentally focused, and take care of business. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a good weekend. And I will see you guys on Monday.